So next up, we are excited to welcome to the stage a company update from Metolius Tea. Joining us on stage is Amy Seidenverg, the founder and lead of Metolius Tea. Her background is in academics and activism, and she holds a master's degree in women's history from Sarah Lawrence College, as well as degrees in poetry. She entered the tea industry after wild crafting medicinal plants and noticing that high-quality coffee shops lacked value-driven tea programs. Her work has focused on building ethical sourcing relationships, including long-term collaboration with farming partners in Nepal. Metolius is beloved throughout Central Oregon and beyond. Please help me welcome Amy to the stage.
Shannon used to teach me yoga. I was living in a treehouse, and you came to my treehouse and taught me my own personal morning yoga routine.
That's right. That was almost 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Look at us now.
Look at us.
It's a good thing we did all that yoga, because it's been a pretty long 20 years, I'll say. Well,
I don't live
fun.
in a treehouse anymore. Hi, I'm Amy. I'm the founder of Metolius Tea. I had the privilege of introducing Metolius Tea to you back in 2019. That was the year we launched Metolius Chai, and our brand gained national traction in the coffee shop industry. That was before I had my own tea garden in Nepal. It was before COVID hit, shutting down coffee shops across the country, leading me to lay off all my employees and work in the tea factory alone and 6 months pregnant. It was before I had a very sleep-challenged baby, and I juggled 90% turnover during the Great Resignation of 2022. I could not have imagined the challenges ahead, but with each impasse, I had the opportunity to restructure my company, build stronger boundaries and systems, find greater conviction in my instincts, and hone my voice as a leader. The business's coming of age has very much been my own. So I want to share with you a little bit about where we were in 2019 and where we are now. In 2019, we'd earned just over $500,000 in revenue. We'd invested $135,000 in our payroll and infused just $160,000 into ethical supply chains for sourcing tea and spices internationally. Last year, we earned just over $2.3 million in revenue, invested over $800,000 in our team, and infused over $700,000 into global ethical supply chains. I use the words invested in payroll and infused in supply chains rather than spent because I realized along the way that I don't think of payroll as a liability and COGS as an expense on the way to the goal of generating net profit. For the record, I absolutely do believe in building a business around strong metrics and healthy cash flow. But investing in our team and our ethical supply chain is our net gain, our ultimate goal. Beautiful tea is simply the method. I've been privileged to have many mentors over the years, including from Business Oregon and EDCO. Business mentors love to ask, what's your revenue goal? I never understood why this question mattered so much until one mentor, who's in this room tonight, Cindy Hayes, asked me the same question in a very different way. When I displayed my typical blank stare in response to her revenue question, she reframed, well, what do you want? That question is easy. I told her I want to pay thriving wages to my team in Bend. I want to make measurable social, economic, and environmental impacts through our tea sourcing. And she responded, you can do the math on that. I calculated 6-figure pay for my leadership team and $30 an hour starting wages for my production and fulfillment teams. And I found, not there yet, but I did find the first revenue goal that mattered to me, $4.4 million. So I want to show you where we were in 2019. What's shocking to me looking at these pictures is that we paid a friend to take them, which means we must have really not known how bad of an idea it was to hoist our bodies up on scissor lifts and brewed chai in t-shirts, chai that is 190 to 200 degrees. So that was then. Now we have a safety committee, safety glasses, safety rails, a capping machine to prevent tendinitis, 2 bottling machines, and a labeling machine we got from a grant from Business Oregon. The best part about all this growth is that we're actually making meaningful progress toward the goals I identified with Cindy. I reached out to an economist at the Oregon Employment Department to help me identify fair wage goals for each position in the team. I tied compensation to both revenue and profit benchmarks, giving the team a sense of how they'll achieve career growth. I often hear my employees say, "I've never worked at a place where I feel so supported, where I feel like I can be my whole self." In the absence of strong systems, many organizations unconsciously adopt a coercive top-down management. Managers internalize large amounts of invisible company knowledge and drive employees beneath them with a "because I said so" attitude. At Metolius, we have an SOP, standard operating procedure, for every role and task, offsetting the need for constant top-down management and internalized company knowledge. When we discover a problem, we ask how we can change the system, not how we can change the person. So with the exception of some light cash flow challenges, Metolius tea is the healthiest it's ever been. It's also the most diverse it's ever been. I've learned through experience that in a healthy organization, you will find queer people, people of color, working parents, and neurodivergent people working at all levels of leadership. And I don't just mean that diversity is good for the people in the organization. I mean the organization itself is remarkably better when it is built with the resilience, integrity, grit, and passion of human beings who share a common goal, yet with an uncommon experience. Beyond the tea factory, our goal is to partner with farmers making measurable social, environmental, and economic impacts in their regions. We partner with a direct trade vanilla bean company in Madagascar, sugar growers in Brazil working on rainforest restoration, and a cardamom cooperative in Guatemala. In the last 3 years, we've developed a close relationship with Nepal. I've had the privilege to collaborate with them to design our own black and gold tea, sponsor education for children in need, protect the biodiverse organic tea mountains, and help eliminate poverty in the tea-growing regions of Elam. Our relationship with Nepal has had a significant impact on the quality of life for hundreds of families. It's also had a profound impact on me, giving me the courage and permission to run my business from my heart. In Nepal, a person's social worth comes not from what they have, but from what they give. So tonight, I'd like to leave you with 2 questions. First, what's your net worth in terms of the value you give to your community, your family, and those less fortunate than yourself? And second, what do you want? Because you know you can do the math on that.
And do some Q&A so you can keep that. I don't often tear up at PubTalk, Amy, but here we are.
I didn't know I was going to hear the echo of my voice.
You just did beautifully. That was an incredible company update. I mean,
Thanks.
Really, and I want to say I'm so proud of you. I have watched this whole journey, and it has been remarkable. Yes. Oh, yes. And also, I want to tell you that I ran into one of your employees a couple of weeks ago, and she said, "I have never been happier. This is the best job I've ever had." And she specifically spoke to you and the culture that you all have created. And I had to share that with you because that's everything.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's the dream.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. So you are making a difference. So tell me about how do you identify partners in Nepal or in Brazil? I mean, these are huge, huge countries. So tell us about that a bit.
Yeah, it's really hard to Google ethical global spice and tea supplier and have the right things come up. Yeah. But Nepal, they emailed me. They found me.
That's amazing.
And I started with buying 2 kilograms of their tea, and it was not good. And I fell in love with their ethics, and I worked with them for 3 years to develop tea that we're really proud of. And we have the ethics along with it.
That's amazing. Oh, that's so cool. Okay, questions for Amy. Anybody have a question? I mean, I have plenty of questions, but if anybody else has questions. Yes, Wendy.
Hi.
Okay, so she says loves your story, and as for the $4.4 million benchmark that you've
Yes.
identified in your business, how are you going to get there?
Do you see this very cute little blonde in the center of the audience? She is one of our saleswomen. So we have a really wonderful sales program. We have 2.5 salespeople. Allison's one of them. And we are expanding into like luxury boutique hotels right now. So we've gotten a sachet machine and we're working on overwraps. And Allison is partnering with hotels that really want to be zero waste. So they're actually interested in sachets without overwraps. So we're moving forward on those first. And
That's
coffee
great.
shops just keep popping up.
Yeah, there's no shortage of coffee shops, that's for sure.
Yeah,
Tell
we
us,
need more.
so an overwrap and a sachet, describe that to these folks.
Oh, a tea bag with the wrap around it. Everything that we do is plastic free and biodegradable, but we try to work with the companies that want the least amount of waste so that they can really spend the money on the tea and not the packaging. But we have been investing in the equipment over the last 2 years so that we can gear up for even the hotels who want the little wrapper.
Yeah, and actually, a lot of people don't know this, but traditional sort of tea at the grocery store that comes in the bags, they actually have a lot of BPA's in them, and
Plastic, ink, glue, staples, all sorts of chemicals.
yeah, not great for tea drinking.
No.
Have you always been a tea drinker?
I've actually always been a tea drinker and a coffee drinker. I love both.
Yeah, I love them both too.
You can do that.
Both good. Yeah.
Yes.
Tea you can drink like all day and all night. Coffee you have to stop.
Start
at a
with the
certain point, right?
cortado and then go to a green
Cruise
tea
into
and
a
then go to a black
matcha,
tea.
and then
Yes, exactly.
do I have any other questions for Amy? Yes, right here in the front.
Hi, Jen.
That was an amazing talk, and I noticed that you mentioned psychological and emotional safety.
Yes.
It's important to you. I'd love to hear you say that.
Okay, great. I love this question. So, hi, Jen. Thank you. She says she loved your talk, and she mentioned, and she noticed that you put emotional and intellectual, social, psychological safety as one of your lists of like non-negotiables. And she wants to know if you could elaborate on that.
Yes, we have an entire chapter on that in our company handbook. One of the things that I really love saying when new people come on board is that we have a shame-free tea factory. So it is a safe place to make mistakes. We hire a lot of people. One of our friends who works for us was a stay-at-home mom homeschooling her child for 12 years. And she came to Metolius and said, I haven't worked in 12 years. And we're like, are you kidding? You have run a home and raised a child. And she had no idea how skilled she was. And when she came to Metolius, she really blossomed in realizing that she had a lot to contribute, and all of those skills that she had built over the last 12 years were completely transferable. And so shame-free tea factory is language we use. Whenever there's a mistake, we call it learning glitter. So we have some language tricks for playfulness. We also make sure that we never use a coercive style of leadership. We do have a hierarchy at Metolius. It's pretty soft hierarchy. There's basically a leadership group, and then there's the crew. And we really make sure that when we say that something needs to happen, we always explain why. And people are generally really stoked to do things together because we're always explaining why and how and the reasons. And yes, we tried it that way, and here's what happened. So instead of that coercive because I said so culture, we really focus on avoiding internalized company knowledge so everything is available to everyone. So yeah, I think shame-free culture, learning glitter, diversity is another really big one. I found that when we have less diverse working community, that we tend to have more enclaves of like judgy people that stick together. And when we are more diverse, we tend to all share an equal voice together. And that really, really supports everyone in the room.
Yes, fascinating. Any other questions for Amy? I mean, yes, Lisa.
Also, first-time crier at PubTalk.
First time crier at PubTalk. Okay. You're doing it.
How can this community help you reach your...
I love this question. How can this community help you reach your next big goal?
Yes, please buy our tea. And we're 85% wholesale. So if you have a favorite coffee shop that doesn't carry our tea, say, I want Metolius tea.
I have to tell you, if I'm out traveling and I see it somewhere unexpectedly, I'm like so excited. And I know I need to start snapping pictures
I
of
feel
that.
so tickled when that happens.
Yeah, it's
Like,
amazing.
I see our tea in like Colorado or something.
I know. What's the farthest away that you're sending tea?
Hawaii? New York? What's
Hawaii?
farther?
I mean, they're both pretty far. I'm not good with maps, but I'd say those are... Is this another question right here? Yes.
Sorry. I love your chai. It's
Thank you.
He loves the chai.
chai, like,
So good.
since before chai was a thing. How did you develop it? I mean, most chai
Yeah.
is just like sweet,
Yeah. This is a great question.
it's really authentic flavor.
So you've got a big chai fan in the audience. He says it's a really authentic flavor. It's perfectly balanced with the sweetness. How am I doing? And he wants to know how you developed it.
So this pink notebook is my chai notebook that I originally used in 2018. I spent the entire year failing and failing and failing until I could get it. And basically what happened for me was the same thing that happened with our Earl Grey tea. When I first started tea making, I couldn't find an Earl Grey that I liked. And so I decided to make one myself, and I made one that I loved. Then years later, I realized that like I love cardamom and ginger and black pepper, but all of the chais in the US market suck. They're watery because most of them are half water and half milk. And a lot of them have cloves, which to me tastes like toothpaste. And they're overly sweet and just not very flavorful. And I don't know who would order a drink with half milk and half water. It just didn't seem appealing to me. And so I never ordered chai out, but I love, like, cardamom is my absolute favorite flavor. So I realized that I needed to make a chai that I would want to drink. I'm a total ginger nut, but I can't really handle spice unless it's paired with sweetness. So basically, we just tried and tried and tried, and we ended up basically steeping really expensive spices. I have expensive taste in almost pure ginger juice. And what we've created is the same proportions of an espresso latte. So instead of that 50-50, it's a 1-to-7 ratio, just like an espresso latte would be. So very concentrated and rich and milky, in addition to that ginger spice and cardamom and sweetness.
Love it. And I'm a big ginger fan too. And it is an amazing product. And your matcha is excellent.
Thank you.
It's actually my best friend's favorite matcha ever. So anyways, I share that with you because I just can't say enough good things about what you've done here. And I'm so happy to hear that it's going well. And I hope all of you will support this company far and wide. Thank you, Amy.
Thank you,
Beautifully
Shannon.
done. Yeah.
Really great. Really great.